Activision devs do not play their own game. It's not your dad doesn't support you.
You should know, you worked at a coffee shop, you stupid bitch.
My name is Casey, and absolutely not fucking Tanner, because my parents don't hate me that much.
Hey, did they have just 8 patches lined up, but they just didn't release them because they were on break? No, you moron kids.
Then we'll, of course, get into it. Change your fucking name and get scammed. He's feeling under the weather.
I probably won't say another word until Stay Humble, so have a good pod, Raz. I'll be here listening.
Got it. We are live, boys and girls. Welcome back to the Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast, episode number 231. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. I am joined, as always, by who's matching again, which is kind of insane, Tanner. Tanner, why are you matching so much lately, bud? What's going on with you?
Am I matching?
You're matching again, black and black. It's good for you.
I'll make sure to not match whatsoever on Saturday. What are your thoughts?
You should make sure to shut the fuck up and not yawn.
Yeah, as little as I can match, I'm going to make sure to do that on Saturday. So
okay, well, then I won't be here. Welcome to the show. If you're new here, there are timestamps for the episode, so you can skip to whatever section you want if you're into that sort of thing. And today we have a number of items to discuss. An absolute number of items. First of which is, of course, announcements. Now, it's interesting because normally what we do when we start the podcast is we thank all of our many new patrons that we got for the week. That's usually what we do. We've been doing this for a very long time.
Yeah.
With varying numbers of new patrons. And it's interesting because this week we have one. Activision devs. Oh, sorry, wrong button. We have one new patron this week. Now, I could go through the labor of explaining how unacceptable, of course, that is. And maybe I should, but I'm not going to, because I kind of want to get into this episode. But let me put it this way. This needs to never happen again, or we're simply not doing an episode next week. I will hold the podcast hostage. Don't care. Done it before. We'll do it again if necessary. So go to patreon.com/thedropshot. God damn it. Okay. For 7 bonus episodes a month. Weekly, monthly hangouts rather, and more, which we're going to get into in a second. So first, I will say thanks to the one guy who actually gives a fuck about us and the podcast, Johnny M.
Johnny.
Our new gold patron. John, thanks, man. Appreciate it. I appreciate you and only you from all of our listeners, for signing up, King, for the bonus eps. Much appreciated, and thanks, buddy. Very kind of you. And that's it. And that's all we've gotten. Which is crazy to me because we just did a fire Patreon episode, Tanner. Wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say our last Patreon episode was absolutely fire? We did a Warzone brainstorm. It went fairly long. It was fun and exciting. And we talked about a lot of things that we've tried since the pretty big weapon balance patch that we got very recently for Warzone. We did a Warzone brainstorm, talked the NZ, the AS, the STG, lot of STG deets in that ep. And,
yeah, we even gave the hidden attachment, which we're not going to tell unless you listen to the Patreon episode, so get fucked.
Unironically, there is an attachment, at least one, that everyone's running on the STG that they shouldn't be. Actually, not bait, not troll. Okay. And we talked at length about this and other things on our last episode, but I thought the brainstorm went very well. And if you guys have listened, it is now live. Let us know your thoughts on the other setup. But we talked about the STG for a while and all the different things you could do with it, including that attachment. A lot of other guns, perk kind of things, and a lot. It was a pretty long episode. I thought it went well. How did you enjoy the brainstorm, Tanner?
Yeah, we always kind of figure some things out, like looking at, kind of talked about some stuff with like the coupe carb, and it kind of made me realize like I don't know what place the coupe carb even has in the game. I know a lot of people use it because it's ease of use, but it's like the STG is just better in every way pretty much, and it still doesn't have recoil. So we talked a lot about that too, and kind of came to some conclusions or thoughts, because there's like, you know, some guns that like you kind of think are good, they feel good. If they feel good and you do good with it, then fine, use it. But there's probably a gun that you could be doing better with, like the STG or something, instead of the coupe carb. Exactly. And that's kind of what we came to a conclusion on. Yeah, for sure. Among other things. And yeah, I don't think anyone should use the coupe for literally anything. And we go into detail on that in the episode. But that is now live. If you're a patron, you can go ahead and listen to that episode. I think it's bonus eps 89, I believe. So there you go. A number for sure. Next is review the goddamn podcast on iTunes. Now, I know none of you like us. Obviously, we got fucking 5,000 listeners. One new patron. Got it. Guys has to move out of state because he can't afford to live here anymore. Yeah, I can't afford to live here anymore, and you guys are making it worse. So thanks. And also, no one's reviewing the podcast on iTunes anymore. Cringe. Okay. Rate the podcast on your app and iTunes. Write a review, especially on iTunes. Do it now. Our link to like reading reviews broke for a while, and I don't own an iPhone because I'm not an idiot. So I can't, like, I literally don't have iTunes, so I actually can't read the reviews, which is very annoying. I think I found a workaround, so we might go back to, if I did find a workaround, reading iTunes reviews at the end of the program, if it's 5 stars. So if you write a 5-star rating, we might read it if we can figure out how to pull it up on the program. So do that, because we haven't gotten a review in months. And we all know this is a 5-star broadcast, and we all have our reasons why. Tell us about it. Tell the people about it. Help us with the algo, dude. Okay, we're back on our bullshit. Oh, I don't use iTunes. Rate it on Spotify or Stitcher. Write a review on Chartable. Whatever the fuck. I don't care. Figure it out, man. Help us out, please. You can literally just rate it in Spotify now, too. You don't even have to write a review. Just hit the 5 stars. Or the 1 if you're a bitch. If you're a bitch, hit the 1. If you're a little fucking bitch, hit the 1, yeah. But if you're a Chad and a king, hit the 5, yeah, for sure. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, we'll try to be keeping up with the iTunes reviews again, if we get any. I think we can figure out a way to actually read them. So there you go. Tanner, you have a couple announcements. Whoops. Yeah, thanks. Well, hello, Dolly. Change it for the offline sub on Twitch a couple days ago. Shit, appreciate man. That. What's up, Dolly? I haven't got one of those in fucking years. Holy shit, I don't even check anymore. Maybe I did. I don't even. Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, so thanks. And then also, merch orders, the sale's still live, of course. I have not shipped any of them. I was waiting to get as many orders as we can until I package them and ship them, because what I always do is I'll spend 2 hours packing and shipping orders. I'll be done with them. I'll go to the post office to ship them. We'll get an order in 10 minutes later. So I was trying to avoid that as much as possible and do them all at once. So if you want something, order it fucking now, because I'm going to start packaging them on Sunday the 22nd and shipping them out Monday the 23rd. So if you want something ASAP, order it by then, and will get shipped at that point. Yeah. For sure do that. Yep. We still have our merch sale going, so get in there. Get in there indeed. By the way, well, hello, Dolly. Obviously change it. Also hit me, the offline sub. Thank you very much, dude or dudette. Probably dude. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. I think it's a dude. Streams Elden Ring. That's all I see here. Looking at the analytics here. No one named Dolly in our Discord. That's interesting. It's a guy whose dog was named Dolly, and he's like, I don't know. He bought an engraved tombstone for her
He cares a little too much about his dog because he's lonely and doesn't have friends because he's a fucking loser in real life. Thanks, Dolly.
Your
Hello,
dog is going to
Dolly.
get fucking killed in New Mexico, by the way, by a chupacabra or something.
The chupacabra, man? Are you
Yeah,
serious?
them
We don't have
things.
livestock. We'll be fine. They'll avoid us.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Dolly, thank you. Or I'm not calling you hello, Dolly. So Dolly, darling, thanks for the offline sub to me as well. We appreciate it for real. Very kind of you. Tanner also wants me to review my bike ride for everyone, which is fun and exciting. I have a bike. My mom has a bike. I rode it. She's like, put a helmet on. So,
No, did you really?
so I'm like, bitch, I'm not putting a helmet on. And then I start like mobbing down my hill, and I'm like, I should probably get a helmet on. So I go back to my garage, attempt to put the helmet on. Her tiny little dumb head helmet isn't even remotely close to fitting me. So I say, okay, fuck it, not using a helmet. And then I went off my merry way. Very hilly where I am. Think Caldera.
Very. Oh,
Think
worse
Caldera.
than Caldera. Unironically worse than Caldera.
Yeah,
more hilly.
real hilly around here. And I am super out of shape is what I learned. I mean,
Really?
the fucking quads were burning, dude.
Yeah.
Burning.
Them
This
quad
is like a
things.
pretty nice mountain bike too. A lot of gears. They don't help. I'm
Quite
still
a few
shit.
years, huh?
I was
How'd
just
them
like,
pedals work?
fuck, dude. They're like tiny little things, and they like are built for clip shoes, but you don't need them at all. Like it's not even uncomfortable using normal ass shoes.
Your feet probably slip off them easily, though,
No, they
don't they?
No,
Interesting. Because that's the thing you got to worry about is going up hills. Is if like if one of your foot slips off, you're just you're tumbling over.
Yeah, you're
essentially.
you'll take a tumble for sure. That wasn't an issue for me, but yeah, it was cool though. It was nice getting outside. I was telling Tanner, if I'm like in my house too much, every once in a while, I'll just get fucking annoyed. I'll get real irritable. And by the way, duh. Of course, if you're in a room all day, you're going to get irritable for no reason. Duh. I know that.
Yeah.
I get it. But like, it usually isn't that big of a deal, but like, you know, sometimes it is. And I was like, I should ride a bike, get outside, get some fresh air, some sunlight. It was nice. It was cool.
Who needs to ride a
it.
bike is Jake. Jake needs to ride a bike or something.
Yeah.
He
Why
plays
is
too much
that?
Warzone and gets too mad.
Yeah. He needs to relax. Needs to take
Yeah,
to chill out a
some of
little
you need to
bit.
just ride bikes, man. Get out there and ride a bike.
Yeah, indeed. So it was fun, but yeah. And another announcement, I guess.
How long did you ride for?
Not far. I went. You know where you probably never been.
That's
there
why I
'cause it's
changed
all
the wording
cul-de-sacs.
because I said how far and then I figured it wasn't very far, so instead I changed it to how long did you ride actually.
Yeah, it wasn't very far, but I was probably like 45 minutes or so. I don't know if you've ever been around those mansions by my house.
On the hill road.
Close to Covina Hills Road. Yeah, like if you closer to my house and like once you turn in from Covina Hills Road toward my house, instead of turning right, you keep going straight. Bunch of mansions.
When you left your house, your street, that street where you have to turn, did you go right or left?
I went right and then I went right.
I've never been
Yeah.
that way at all. Okay.
Yeah, that's a back way to get to Covina Hills Road. If you go
Is that
way.
less hilly than coming up the other way to the left? Because that hill is steep right there.
That hill is steep. It's not less hilly. It's just more of them, but they're a little more gradual.
Got it. Okay.
But anyway, this doesn't matter. Yeah, whatever. It was fun. Yeah, I was like 45 minutes, whatever. Yeah, and then last really boring announcement and stay mad. This is why we timestamp the episodes. The family is moving. The family is very set on moving their characters to another state. So the game plan is we're going to sell this house for an amount of money because apparently the housing market's in a bubble right now or something. That's what my dad's saying. So he's like, we're going to sell it now while it's like we're going to make a fuck ton of money, move somewhere where it's way cheaper to live, which is true, by the way, because we live really close to LA, which just artificially massively raises the price of everything around here. Living, rent, mortgage, all that shit. And then we're going to move somewhere and buy a house for cheaper. That's also like bigger and newer and nicer. And the only downside is we won't be close to LA, but none of us work or give a shit about LA, so it's just all like upside. The problem is, where the fuck do we go? We have no idea. I mean,
where are you moving your characters? Where are you rotating to?
Yeah, where is the circle closing? We don't really know. So we've been tossing out like Colorado, New Mexico, Georgia, Tennessee. We could go fucking anywhere.
A lot of options, yeah. There's quite a few areas.
So you guys listening gotta tell me where we should move our characters to. Okay, a couple stipulations. Nowhere too cold. My dad has both types of arthritis. He will wilt and die. It has to be somewhat, it can't be too remote because I need good internet and DoorDash ability. Okay. And that's pretty, and then also low cost of living. Lower, everywhere is lower than California except Delaware probably, but fairly low cost of living. Don't want to kill myself. Not Mexico too rainy. City. You know, where to? And in the United States of America, in the contiguous United States of America.
Hawaii.
That's not in the contiguous United States of America. Before cut those things off, neither is that. So let me know. We are open to suggestions. Pretty much anywhere that meets those criteria works. Give us some suggestions. And thanks. All right, let's get into the episode. If you're listening for the jingle, here it is.
Go to the bathroom.
Go to the bathroom. Lagstifer. Tier 1, 16 months in a row. Dog shit, be better people, only one patron. True. Laggy boy. I love you, man. Thank you. And I'm not moving to Canada. And I appreciate it. 16 months in a row. And M. Sadi with a tier 1 for a year. 12 months in a row. Smiley face. Let's fucking go. M. Sadi. Thank you, brother. Honored, humbled, and privileged. Very much appreciated, dude. Very kind of you. Now, welcome, boys and girls, to the program. Today, we have some things to talk about, most of which, honestly, is going to be relating to MW2 and Warzone 2, potentially, and leaks. And we will get into the veracity of these varied claims as we get to them. But first, we have a couple of things to talk about with respect to Vanguard and Warzone. So first, playlist updates. Some new updates, some new playlists rather in Vanguard. Mayhem 24/7, which is a map. Shiphouse 24/7, which is another map. Zone Blitz, small maps, which I think means Hardpoint, Patrol, and Dom Blitz on small maps. Western Front, don't know what that is. It probably sucks. Arms Race, which is a mode we've reviewed before. It's fine, I guess. Gets boring pretty quickly. And then Champion Hill Duos, which I refuse to cover. Also, Max XP and Free Access Week begins now as well. So it's free to play Vanguard from May 18th to the 24th. Now, full disclosure here, I follow Engine Owning on Twitter so that I can say things like I'm about to tell you now on this podcast. They tweeted, during this multiplayer free access, their Vanguard multiplayer cheats are also going to be free on Engine Owning. So if you wanted to play Vanguard, cool, but probably going to be a lot of cheaters. So don't get your dick too hard about it. And Vanguard's not that fun anyway. So probably don't play it. But if you want to level shit, you could do that during the free weekend. Or the free week, rather. So there you go. Other than that, nothing else to talk about. Now, we also got a patch to Vanguard. This is the least surprising thing I have ever read, probably. Sledgehammer made a series of tweets, and I'm going to read some of them to you. Since launch, this was on the 16th of May, we have been investigating a lack of diversity in map rotation. Today, we are removing assault, combat pacing, and quick play and featured playlists with the intention to improve this issue. Assault, which is the middle one, by the way. So tactical was like 6s, It varies by map, but tactical was like 6s, assault was like 8s, blitz was like 10s, basically. They removed the middle option, assault. Although assault was the choice for just 5% of players, which is super surprising to me, its impact on matchmaking cannot be understated. We aim to improve the diversity of map rotation across all quick play playlists by removing this option. And then they talk about whatever. And then also min and max player counts for the existing combat pacings, tactical and blitz, have been adjusted. Basically, tactical is like 6v6 everywhere now. And blitz is 14v14 or 10v10, depending on the map. And then some maps don't have a blitz option anymore. So for example, Das House is only 6s now. You can't play Das House on with more than 6v6 or less than 6v6 people.
Huh.
Which is an interesting change that I think I support.
I actually like that.
To be honest. Yeah. And then Mayhem is another one. 6v6 is the only number of players on that map. That's a good thing because especially on Mayhem, which we reviewed recently, I played it on Blitz before this change. Way too many people. It's not possible for that map to be fun on Blitz. What are your thoughts, Tanner?
Yeah, this is I'm surprised by this. I'm surprised and I'm not. One, they say assault is only picked 5% of the time. Assault has never worked. So if you ask me, it's probably bugged and it doesn't get picked because it's never worked. I've never gotten an assault game ever, and I've only had assault checked for the last year, basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I'm not very surprised at any of this. Vanguard just doesn't have that many players. It's not very popular. It was not very well received. And in addition to that, this is what we talked about before, or as soon as combat pacing was announced. Is this going to split up the player base too much? Turns out it was.
Yeah.
So they removed assault. Not that big of a deal. I don't really care. However, it does, as always, make me think, what does this mean for MW2? Are they just going to scrap combat pacing altogether? Or are they only going to have, again, tactical and blitz? Because they can expect, and they would be right to expect, a way bigger multiplayer player base.
That's exactly what I was about to say. They could definitely get away with 3 combat pacings.
Do you think they would go back to 3 if only 5% chose assault? Because I don't think they would. I think
probably not. Yeah.
I think they would either do this combat pacing where it's just tactical or blitz, or nothing at all.
The thing is in my opinion, and we talked about this a long time ago, assault, this is going back to 10v10 Dom in MW 2019. Assault was the best playlist. And of course, apparently it wasn't picked. It's like I don't get it. So now we're stuck with tactical Berlin because people weren't picking assault. Cool, man. So yeah. So next time you play Berlin 6v6 and hate your life and are just utterly bored out of your mind and can't find someone for 4 minutes, just know that it's your fault because you weren't picking the assault combat pacing, which has been the best combat pacing on most maps since Vanguard came out. But sure, yeah, let's play Berlin 6v6. Go fuck yourself.
Crazy. I know.
It's crazy. Yeah.
That's one of the things is like Berlin's a perfect example. On tactical pacing, it's 6v6. On Blitz, it's 14 versus 14. That's not even the same map anymore. Like, this is crazy. You're way more than doubling the number of players.
Like, Berlin tactical should be at minimum 8v8, probably 10v10 still. I don't get their thought process there. A lot of the other ones, like Eagle's Nest 6v6 and then Blitz 10s. Eagle's Nest is a disaster on Blitz because it's essentially a 1-lane map. So it's like even like that on Blitz, I think should probably just be 8v8, really.
And by the way,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. And by the way, look at Castle. Castle no longer has tactical pacing. It's only 14v14 on Castle.
Yeah.
If there's any map you're going to do that for, it's Berlin. Berlin's bigger than Castle. Way bigger map than Castle. Why would they not? I don't get it. It just doesn't make sense.
Turns into a clusterfuck of streaks too. Everyone gets streaks on that map because you like get into action so quickly. Unlike Berlin. that it's just constant streaks, man. And then you get spawn trapped very easily because there's only like one spawn, whereas Berlin, it'll kind of start rotating your spawns and you kind of can't get trapped. But in Castle, you just get spawn trapped and you're getting raped to streaks.
Yeah.
So, cool.
Yeah, sick, I know.
Thanks, Sledgehammer. And one of your games fucking dead, idiots.
Yeah. Give me cities so real quick. If you're going to don't recommend me a state. I shouldn't have said that. Recommend me a city and state. That's a lot more helpful. Not just a state.
California.
So like, don't do that. Like what you just said. Yeah, don't do that. Thanks in advance. Okay, yeah. But anyways, first of all, they had to do this. If only 5% of people were picking assault, take it out. That's fine. And I don't really care. When it comes to MW2, though, my only question now is, if they have combat pacing in MW2, is it again going to be you select your preference, or can you select your actual player count? Because if it was like you could only do tactical or blitz, but you're guaranteed to get the one you've selected, unless you select both if you want to do that, that would be better than the old system, honestly. Because the combat pacing thing, like Tanner said, we picked assault and we never got it. So there was basically no combat pacing for us. It didn't matter. It didn't impact anything. And still, I imagine if we picked Blitz and Vanguard, we'd probably get tactical a fair amount of time anyway. Maybe not. I'm not sure, but maybe. But I hope that in MW2, because they will have the player base to support it, if they do tactical and blitz combat pacing again, which I think they could do and they should do, honestly, I hope it's not you're selecting a preference. I hope you are selecting literally what you're queuing for. That would be really cool. Because that would be a lot of fun, I think. And would be better than just like none of it at all, you know?
I agree, yeah. Because when I'm like in the mood to like play Blitz or something, or when I was in the mood when Vanguard was a video game that I played, and it's like, say I would want to work on certain weapons or something, I'm like, oh, I need to play Blitz, and I would select Blitz and then get it 1 out of 5 times. It's like, what's the point of this system when it doesn't? I don't want a fucking preference. If I select something, I want to know that I can either wait and get that, or it just doesn't exist and it's dead and I can't find a lobby for 5 minutes, fine. Then I'll choose something else. But I don't want it to be a preference. If I want to play that, I want to queue for only that.
I agree.
And I think there's been leaks that combat pacing in some aspect is coming to MW 22222. So
yeah,
it'll be a different system though, regardless.
We'll see how it goes. But I do like I think combat pacing can be done well for MW2. But we've run the experiment, and this is like a point I've made a lot through the course of this program, is that when COD does something new, it's probably not going to be good when it comes out. Hey, look at Warzone. Not very good, but once they have the germ of a good idea and they fuck it up by attempting to implement it, then the next time they implement it, maybe it'll actually be good. So combat pacing is kind of like one of those things where it's like they tried combat pacing. It was not useful. But now that they've had the idea and they've gotten some data back and know how to maybe improve upon that idea, it'll be better in MW2. Same kind of thing happened with the gunsmith in reverse. We had a gunsmith. Yeah. It was the best case scenario, kind of. So, like, it's weird because in MW 2019, the gunsmith was better because you couldn't just use every attachment. But it was worse than Cold War, for example, because everything an attachment said it didn't do. Everything it said it didn't do, it did. And there were no numerical values at all. But in Cold War, you throw on this barrel, you're adding 0.37 newtons of force. Cool. And those stats were actually accurate. But then the downside of the Cold War gunsmith system was, well, there really wasn't one, actually. I think Cold War was the best one. You couldn't use every single thing unless you picked the wild card for it. And every attachment actually did what it said. and it told you very detailed what it was doing to your gun.
Very detailed.
And then even Vanguard, I think the implementation of the gunsmith itself, mechanically, the gunsmith works better than it ever has in Vanguard because it tells you everything. And they're all accurate now, I think. But the only downside of the gunsmith in Vanguard is that they just let you use every single slot, which is bad. But that's not the gunsmith's fault. That's just like a design fault. So like the gunsmith, they did it. It was fine, and then they improved on it. I think combat pacing could be another one of those things. That's kind of my only point.
Yeah, agreed.
By the way, another point, the UGR. We've talked about this SMG a little bit. It's a Cold War SMG you can unlock for Warzone. We've talked about this, but I'll briefly mention it again. JGod made a quick little video on it, and he was like, yeah, it's like fine in Warzone. Like it's pretty good. It has one magazine attachment, which is explosive fléchette rounds. These are dog shit. I think you actually do less damage using these than not using any ammo attachment at all if the other person has EOD. That's terrible, obviously. And also they're bugged, so whether or not the other person has EOD, you can't finish people with the explosive fléchette rounds. So it's a kind of a buggy mess. And you get fucked on by EOD if you're using explosive fléchette rounds with this gun. And if you're not, you only have a 30 round mag. So it's not worth using in Warzone. But with that said, TTK is pretty good. It's pretty competitive. So maybe for solos, after they fix the bugs, this is a good option. But for like most people, most of the time, the UGR is probably not worth it. And even if they fix it and you're a solo player, I would probably still go with the OTS-9, but I would need to look at the sim.gg data to determine that. But it might be worth looking at if you're a solos player or a Rebirth player. Maybe it's good. Because it is a Cold War SMG. You fucking zoom with it. And it has some pretty good damage. So look into it, but for most people, it's not going to be worth using. Just as an update.
Yeah, it seems dog shit.
So there you go.
I'm never going to unlock it just because I don't want to.
Yeah. So now into the more exciting things, kind of. Into the more exciting into the more exciting section, but this first announcement is not exciting. News and upcoming changes. Raven tweeted today, "We've noticed many of you still haven't found some of the hidden Operation Monarch challenges and rewards in Warzone. Figured we'd give you a heads up." And heads is in all caps. And then there are some emojis. A winky face, a parachute, and a monkey. So I didn't read the replies to this because I don't care. Someone probably figured it out. My guess is that you're supposed to parachute onto Godzilla's head, and then you get to, I don't know, you get like to throw a boulder yourself or something. There's apparently more like dumb little hidden trivia challenges in Operation Monarch. What do you think this means, Tanner?
I don't. Well, it's like, of course, no one figured it out. The average KD of people playing this game mode is a 0.18. What did you think they were going to figure these things out?
Yeah,
they're landing on the ground and they're all shooting at Godzilla and King Kong with their kilos. They're not going to find any hidden anything. Come on.
Yeah.
You didn't think that one through, did you? Yeah, I don't know. The only thing I like from this is that Pastor Nick attempted to ratio them and had a funny tweet that got 60 likes to that thing.
That's good.
Which was
What's
pretty
the
funny.
ratio? Tell me about it. Or the attempted ratio.
It's not that we haven't found them. It's just we don't really care to look, which is exactly true. And I, of course, like the tweet. Shout out to Pastor Nick for that. So yeah, that sums it up. I don't care what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It might be like a cool weapon blueprint. It's the only
It's probably nothing. It's probably a blueprint for an SVT.
I would care, but it's probably a spray. Yeah. It's probably a spray that is glitched and doesn't work.
Yeah.
So there you go for you lore nerds.
If the spray is like King Kong's balls, then I would do it, but it's probably not.
It's probably not that. So now,
probably not King Kong's balls.
Finally, we can get into the fun and exciting news. An article from Charlie Intel published 24 hours ago by Liam McKay. This son of a bitch.
Liam.
Good old
God
Liam.
Damn it.
God damn it, Liam. Warzone 2 leak claims new loadout system, major inventory and armor changes coming in new battle royale. So, a lot of leaks, okay? And disclaimer, none of this is confirmed, and we will tell you how likely each and everything that we're going to talk about today is to actually be coming to the game. Because I know that there are some leaks out there we're going to talk about today that I'm certain are not coming to Call of Duty, that some people are under the misapprehension of thinking we'll actually get in a fucking COD game. We'll get it. We'll take those bite by bite, as it were. But Tanner, why don't you tell us about this absolute article here, buddy?
Yeah, so this article is based on, there's a YouTuber named Nero's Cinema. I've heard of the guy. I think he's kind of out there is what I've gathered, like has some real hot takes or claims, but
red spicy hot takes, huh?
Yeah, so I didn't watch his video because I saw some backlash to it saying like it was wrong, and then later a bunch of leakers came forward and said, oh, actually, it sounds like he's right. So this is essentially an article summed up from what he said in his YouTube video that you can find somewhere, Nero's Cinema. So to start with, he's claiming, his source claims that loadouts are still a part of Warzone 2, but the way you get them has completely changed. So apparently loadout drops are going to be locked behind, quote, strongholds, where players need to complete objectives such as defusing a bomb or killing AI to access their loadout. Now, the big confusion right away coming with a lot of these leaks is it sounds exactly like things that you would get in the new DMZ mode. Correct. But that's what some other leakers were saying, and then later they came out like, oh, no, it actually sounds like he's right, and this is actually for Warzone, and this is not for the DMZ mode. Because this sounds, as we get into more of these, this sounds like Escape from Tarkov type things that they would do. Strongholds with killing AI, Yeah. It sounds more like DMZ. And I'm going to say right now, I don't think any of this is for Warzone. I think this is for DMZ, and they're all wrong.
I'm with you.
Or they're getting false information. But who knows? It's like killing AI, it's like we've already had AI in Warzone, and we did talk about when those AI came in that maybe this was a precursor to something in the future that we'd see, and that was kind of a test. So I could see this being true, I guess. The thing is I would like to see Warzone change. I don't know about these changes, and I don't know how the general public would like changes like this.
I think
people have now been playing Warzone they'll have played it for 3 years before we get this. If they can't just buy a load, I mean, everyone hated the game because we couldn't buy a loadout for 3 minutes. It's like if you can't buy one at all and you have to start doing tasks, I think people are going to lose their fucking minds.
I agree. I find this almost impossible to believe. If there is any truth to these leaks, that loadouts will be locked behind strongholds where players need to complete objectives like defusing a bomb or killing AI to get their loadout, that will be in the DMZ mode, not in regular Warzone. I can't imagine they're going to do that. And as a reminder to those of you listening, maybe you haven't heard, maybe you're a new frog to the program, the DMZ mode is supposedly going to be a Call of Duty game mode that Activision releases that is going to be Escape from Tarkov inspired. Okay, and we're going to talk more about that specifically, but when we say DMZ mode, we are referring to an unconfirmed rumor/leak of some new mode coming to COD that's like Tarkov in some capacity. And if this leak is true, and this is coming to the game, like Tanner just said, I'm with him 100%. I cannot imagine this is coming to regular ass Warzone 2. I think people would lose their fucking minds. Yeah.
Because you got to think something else we've also gotten leaks on before. A lot of leaks in the past over the history of Warzone that we've gotten end up being in like an LTM or something too. Yes. So it's like, sure, it's technically in Warzone, but it's not the core battle royale.
Yeah. For example, vehicles in Vanguard, tanks in Vanguard.
Yes.
Planes in Warzone. These are all things we were getting leaks about, rumors about, and they were all like sort of true, but are there really vehicles in Vanguard multi? No. Just in one game mode, arms race. And then there's like the ATV I think ATVs are only in that too.
And then even planes in Warzone, those were in their own game mode, and now they're not in the game at all. So it's like, sure, these things.
Exactly. Yeah. And they didn't impact actual Warzone. This has to be something like that.
Yeah. But, you know, I don't know. Infinity Ward may want to change everything up. So we'll move on to the next thing here, which is looting changes. So poorly said that ground. I don't understand this. Ground loot will remain much the same with weapons already having all of their attachments, but they'll be limited to 5. Huh? Fuck does that mean? They'll be limited to 5 attachments? Is that what he's trying to say?
Ground loot will remain much the same with weapons already having all of their attachments, but they'll just be limited to 5.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know what that means either.
I don't know what you're trying to say, Liam. Once again, Liam, I don't know what you're trying to say.
God damn it, Liam.
I don't know if he's trying to say 5 attachments. If so, it's worded horribly. Or he's trying to say there's 5 total ground loot guns, which I don't think is the case. So I don't. Regardless, so Nero believes Warzone 2 will be more like Blackout than the original Warzone. Similar to Blackout, you won't spawn in with any armor, and you'll need to find a satchel to equip plates. There will also reportedly be a bag system for inventory management, which is horrendous. Similar to other battle royales such as PUBG and Apex, this bag will allow you to carry so much loot in your inventory, and you'll need to manage what you carry. Again, what does this sound like? Tarkov, backpacks, looting. This bag can carry things like kill streaks or even a 3rd weapon, so you can have your 2 main weapons and 3rd for backup. Sounds like Tarkov. However, carrying large items will take up the vast majority of the bag. Sounds like Tarkov.
Yes.
This is not for Warzone. I don't care what anyone says.
I agree.
I don't care what all these leakers say. This is not for This is not for core battle royale in Warzone. I can guarantee that right now.
I agree. There is simply no chance that one of the best things about Warzone. Someone made this point, I think in Discord. Forget who said it, or it was on Twitter or something, or maybe a YouTube comment. Shout out to the YouTube commenters though. Leave a comment if you heard me say this and then commented, and I'll pin it. Actually, this will be sponsored, so never mind. Can't. But I'll like it. I'll give it a heart. Someone said, they were like, yeah, the loadouts are one of the best things about Warzone and what sets it apart from other BRs. But another thing is the inventory system is fantastic, which is
perfect.
True.
Simple.
The best thing about Warzone is, I don't have to worry about bag space. I don't have to worry about inventory management at all. And they will never add it in. They won't. If they're doing a bag system and everything Tanner just said, it will not be in the Warzone BR mode. It'll be in the DMZ mode or some other mode. But I refuse to believe they are dumb enough to go to Apex style looting in the regular BR. No one wants that, especially not Call of Duty players. There is no chance this is coming. There is no chance this is coming. Mark my words.
There's no way.
What, Tanner, why do people think that Nero is more correct than he used to be with all these leaks?
I don't know. I'm not sure. It sounded like one of those things where like some of the leakers are sort of like, no, this is for DMZ. And then like a few hours later, they all changed their mind. Like they all got intel from the same person or whatever. And they're like, oh shit, no, he's right. Like they saw gameplay or I don't really know. So moving on, also pro perks will reportedly return in some capacity. They're featured in 2009's MW2 where players can complete a set of challenges to add more features. Their perks such as Commando Pro, removing fall damage. He also believes they'll be in multiplayer. I would assume these will, for sure, if they're coming, I would see it in multiplayer before Warzone, of course.
Yeah, and I don't care.
Know if I would believe that.
Pro perks don't matter because everyone will have them. And then it's just a perk. So Commando Pro is just Commando. Because once you're level 30, you have Commando Pro now. So everyone's using the same perk. It doesn't matter. I think pro perks, the idea is stupid. I don't understand why it's a thing.
Yeah.
I never understood pro perks. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. But yeah.
Moving on, brand new map and firing range coming to Warzone 2. Firing range will show damage numbers when you shoot targets, so you know exactly how much damage your weapon is dealing at a range.
Ooh.
I can 100% see a range coming. That's something they should have.
I've heard about that
PUBG
a lot,
has it. I'm pretty sure Apex has it. Warzone is again the biggest studio and again behind the curve. So we should have this already. Side note, the source also claimed, well, sliding existed in the build they played, slide canceling was impossible. Don't care. There will be some other... People are so hung up on this. It doesn't matter. If the movement speed is faster, it doesn't matter. Slide canceling is a thing because it's possible and you can move a little bit faster. If slide canceling wasn't a thing, guess what? You'll get used to it in a day and there will be no slide canceling and you'll move fast. It just doesn't matter. You guys get so hung up on this, it doesn't matter.
Yep. Hot take alert. Slide canceling is dumb. It's stupid. It should have never been in the game anyway. And the big argument I always hear is, oh, but Raz, slide canceling adds a skill gap. Okay. That's true, but why do you want to have that skill be important in Warzone? Because here's another skill gap you could add to Warzone. When you're in the plane, the more times you press the A key on your keyboard or your controller, the more health you'll have for the rest of the game. Is that a skill gap? How many times you can press the A key in 30 seconds? Yes. Some people are going to be able to press the A key more in 30 seconds than other people. So there will be a skill gap in that. Is this a skill we want to incentivize for a battle royale game? Of course not. It's dumb. It's very dumb. It doesn't make any sense. And you don't want to make a skill gap around stupid shit. And slide canceling is one of those things. The only reason people do it is so they can move faster and reset their tac sprint. But if I just moved faster always, then I wouldn't need to fucking get arthritis by constantly pressing all these buttons that don't need to be pressed. It's dumb.
Yeah.
Slide canceling, absolutely fuck it. I don't care if there's a skill gap. It's a stupid skill for there to be a gap in. You know what skill gaps you should have? Aiming your gun, controlling your recoil, positioning well, hitting headshots, re-challenging fights. These are things that there should be a skill gap for. Not fucking slide canceling. It's stupid. It's not a good skill to be incentivizing. It's really dumb that people want slide canceling so bad.
And also Vanguard, the movement speed is really good and there's no reason to slide cancel. Everyone was so hung up because there's no slide canceling, but it's like, well, you're ignoring the fact that the movement speed, the base movement speed and sprinting movement speed are both faster than MDub's engine, MDub 2019. So it's like, what's the issue there? You move quicker. Why does it matter? Why do you need a slide cancel? It's just the kids get so hung up on it, and I don't care. I'm not like you. I don't give a shit that it's in the game right now. It's like I just do it because you move around faster, yeah. But I would also be totally fine with that out. These kids get just hung up on it being removed, and it will be because Ted Timmons has already said he considers it an accessibility gap. I guess I don't exactly agree with that, but I guess he's claiming an accessibility thing because it's harder for some people.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyways, so when the creative director of Raven, who's in charge of Warzone currently, says he's wanted it removed for a long time, I would imagine we will not see it in Warzone 2.
Yeah. Well, let me add though, like in Black Ops 4, you can slide cancel, for example. Okay, older game. You can slide and then press it again and then stand if you want to like interrupt your slide prematurely. So I actually want there to be slide canceling. I just don't want it to be the fastest way to move your character.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you want to do, like in BO4, sometimes you wanted to do a complete full slide. And then sometimes you wanted to do like a little baby slide and then stand up quickly, depending on the situation. But so if that's what they mean by slide canceling, I want that because then it's just more versatility. But what I don't want is slide canceling to be necessary because that's how you move faster. That's dumb. That's the dumb part.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Yeah, because it's like if you just sprint or tac sprint around Caldera, you'll realize within 5 seconds how slow the base movement speed is for a map that big. So we don't need slide canceling. We just need a better base movement speed.
Yes.
You know, better sprinting movement speed, better tac sprint moving speed, etc. So, correct. And that would be plenty. I don't care about slide canceling. Get over it, kid.
Yeah, for sure. Splish splash. I was taking a bath and I noticed I have beautiful balls. Our friends at MANSCAPED, the global leaders in below the waist hygiene, are turning men's shower dreams into their favorite routine with the all-new Ultra Premium Collection. This all-in-one hygiene, skin, and hair bundle is designed to upgrade the everyday man's shower routine from head to toe. Your skin, hair, and balls deserve it. Save big by going to manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping with the code DROPSHOT. Step 1. Lather on that cologne-infused ultra premium body wash with aloe vera and sea salt to keep your skin feeling clean and moisturized all day. Step 2 is hair care time. Apply the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner that cleanses and nourishes in one step. The non-greasy formula has a base of coconut water, green tea, aloe, turmeric, and sage. Put it on your pits and your pubes as well. Step 3. Hop out of the shower. Protect yourself from BO by applying the Manscaped aluminum-free deodorant. Dries clear and is also cologne infused. Step 4. If you're inked up or have dry skin, hit it with the hydrating body moisturizer spray. Step 5, Manscaped Lip Balm. Fun and exciting lip balm. Works well. I use it every day. Not too like clumpy. It's pretty, and you can't see it too. It's good for men, I would say, and women. But you don't see it. You don't get a lip shine. And it's a free gift when you purchase the Ultra Premium Collection. And last but not least, of course, the Lawnmower 4.0 electric trimmer to clean off any unwanted body hair. The Lawnmower 4.0 is waterproof, so you bet it's a major key to the new routine. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. Once again, 20% off and free shipping with the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. Support us, support the show. It is time for you to get wet and clean with your new Manscaped shower routine. All right, next we have another article from exputer.com written by friend of the pod, Thomas Henderson.
Sir Tommy Henderson.
Sir Tommy, one of like 2 or 3 leakers that I actually put some stock in for good reason. And he wrote an article. Tanner's been perusing it. What can you tell us about this absolute article, which was written yesterday, the 18th?
Yeah, so he talks also about the Nero Cinema video in here, which we'll get into a little bit, but a lot of this is about the map. So, let's see, where should we start? So as mentioned in my earlier report last November for Modern Warfare 2, old maps will be returning to not only the core title, but to the Warzone 2 map itself. Within the Warzone 2, the maps have been added and expanded on as per my original report. So final POI names for the map itself have not yet been determined, but I can still outline a few of these and their locations within Warzone 2. So, again, a lot of these maps were supposed to come to MW 2019, and we never got, but we'll talk about it anyways. Yeah. So, number 1, he says High Rise will be returning in part to the Warzone 2 map. It's located right under the map POI named Modern City, so you know it of course could come. It could have been in Verdansk easily, but it wasn't. Yeah. Modern City contains a large city with a lot of skyscrapers and tall buildings. There we go, which should satisfy players that have missed Verdansk from the original Warzone game. So that, I mean, I could see some of this, a lot of this being true, but also it also made sense in MW 2019 and on Warzone OG, and we never got it.
Yeah, and if this is in Warzone, that implies that there is a super tall building on the next Warzone map.
Yeah.
Which there probably will be.
And again, we also talked about this, I think, on that Patreon episode. It is more likely that we do get these things now, because this is an MW 2, and all of these maps that are being rumored were MW 2 maps. So it does make a ton more sense that we get them now than in the original MW, because think of the ones we got in MW 2019, Backlot, Crash, Vacant. Those were all Call of Duty 4 maps, Modern Warfare 1 maps. So if we're going in line with that, it does make a lot of sense. More likely that these maps come now.
Quickly, hold on. Let's also keep in mind that if we get these maps in MW 2 multiplayer, that's cool. But if we get them in Warzone 2, it's barely going to matter, if at all. For example, Shipment is on Caldera.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. It's an Arsenal, right?
I don't know. I don't know where it is.
It's an arsenal, pretty sure.
Maybe I've been there, and I played a lot of Caldera. Maybe I've been there and I didn't notice. Don't know, but it doesn't matter, and who cares? It's not a big deal, because a multiplayer map, or part of one, being on the big Warzone map is barely going to change anything. It doesn't really matter. Just like we had Summit on Verdansk, who fucking cares?
We had Vacant in Verdansk,
who fucking cares? We had Scrapyard, who fucking cares? They're just little areas of the Warzone map. That is not that big of a deal to me, so I don't really give a shit if High Rise is going to be on the Warzone 2 map. The only thing I do care about, again, is that if it is, it implies there's going to be an ostensibly fairly tall building on the new Warzone map, which, again, I would not find surprising.
No,
but in terms of a multiplayer map, we've kind of talked about this before, I think, on Patreon. High Rise is fine. It's not a great map, but it's not terrible, I don't think. So, whatever.
Yeah, all of these mixed into the Warzone map would be cute, for sure, but...
It would be cute. Yeah,
you are absolutely right that it really doesn't matter that much at all. So, another one that'll be on the map, supposedly, is Quarry, Terminal. He also notes with Terminal, this is one of the 3 locations on the map with a large stronghold. Again, talking about the loadout system of supposedly having to take a stronghold. So,
by the way,
again, not sure I believe that, but for how that would work.
Quarry in Warzone, this one I actually do care about, because this area would fucking suck. I am not dropping fucking Quarry, dude. Fuck that. If you remember playing Quarry and you got the spawn down low, it was not great for you. And I can imagine getting held when you're down there and the gas is coming and there's a bunch of rats in that building that has the elevation. You're all super dead. You're never making it up. Quarry is going to be a dog shit spot in Warzone if it comes. And in multiplayer, again, this map's fine. I don't care. It's not a great map. There were so many better MW2 maps, we'll put it that way.
Yeah.
So, Terminal, on the other hand, excellent multiplayer map. One of the best. And this in Warzone would be cool. I would actually like it a lot, I think. And I am curious if there's a stronghold. First of all, if those will even be in the regular Warzone map or only DMZ. And if so, where on Terminal the map would there be a stronghold? Like, what part of the map would constitute a stronghold? I don't understand where you would put that.
Inside the Terminal, there'd just be AI. Who knows?
Weird. Yeah, maybe it is the stronghold. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. But anyway, yeah.
So another one, they said Afghan is located on the map.
Spell Afghan right, Tom. There's an H in Afghan. Come on, man. You gotta put the H, Tom. You son of a bitch, Tom.
AFGHAN, yeah. And so supposedly Favela and Afghan are both on the map somewhere. So there's a list of POIs. Do you want to cover these or do you not care? There's 18 of them. It doesn't really matter.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, he has a list of POIs. Supposedly sweeping from the top left
we should cover them.
To the bottom right of the map. So they're as Oasis, War-Torn, Quarry, as we covered, Oil Field, Modern City, which is where High Rise would be, Caves, which would be Afghan, Dam, Marshes, Harbor, Sierra? What the hell is that? Google that word. You know what that means? Yeah. Observatory, Mountain Town, which they're assuming is Favela, Graveyard, Old Town, Shipwreck, Fish Town, Fort, and Airport, which would be Terminal.
It's Turkish for the word order. Which is weird.
Order.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
Turkish, huh?
So let's talk about some of these. So first of all, Afghan, if this was a great multiplayer map, this would be a lot of fun for multi.
That would be a nice spread out area too on a Warzone map.
I agree. This would
because
also
it's
be a
pretty
good Warzone
large,
area.
and also I've been saying for a long time that I want a more desert themed map, and this is kind of hinting more that we'll have desert areas in it. Also with like Quarry, Afghan, Oil Field, you got to think those are all going to be desert areas.
Yeah, for sure. I think Afghan would be a good Warzone location too. I don't think it would be like super special, but I think it would be pretty good. It wouldn't be Quarry. I would drop it Afghan. I wouldn't drop it Quarry. So yeah, some of these POIs, a lot of them you can't say much about. Oasis, there will be water. You won't be able to swim.
Part of the desert.
War-Torn, No idea.
Oh wait, he's also listing them from. Oh, hold on. So the top left to bottom right. Okay, so that does mean so like those probably top 6 POIs would be the desert region essentially.
That makes sense.
Oil field quarry, war-torn oasis, Afghan, yeah, and then you get into you can tell like more dam, marshes, harbor, observatory, mountain town. Yeah. So that kind of makes it sound like the bottom left, bottom of the map, similar to Verdansk, would be like along some water.
Yeah. Yeah, you actually can't get much from these names, really. I mean, they're all pretty self-explanatory. Like, I don't know, graveyard, or like might be a mausoleum or something, but
yeah,
like, yeah, it's just not going to be that big of a deal. Shipwreck's interesting, but yeah, I don't know. But anyways,
so there we go. Those are the supposed 18 POIs, or some of them.
Yeah.
So moving on here, he talks about strongholds more. I have not read any of this, so let's read this. Strongholds are something I've been sitting on for a while, and with Nero Cinema's latest video, putting the stronghold information out in the wild, I wanted to explain them a little more. Strongholds are located across the entire map and will give players something additional to do instead of just buying your loadout at a buy station. Oh, so it does sound like you can just buy them. So maybe these are just like contracts, essentially.
Yes. That would make a lot more sense.
Okay, because didn't that Charlie Intel article make it sound like you had to do this to get a loadout?
It did, yes.
Okay, so thanks, Liam, again.
You son of a bitch.
Oh, Liam. There are around 25 to 30 of them spread across the entire map, so probably just as many as the usual buy station we've been accustomed to. There are several different tiers of strongholds, with 3 large ones and then 20 to 25 smaller scattered around. Oh. They're typically guarded by AI and contain objectives that you need to complete in order to gain access to your loadout. So essentially, I guess it's a contract in the sense where you can do this to obtain a loadout, but you probably don't get any money, but you don't spend any money either. So you don't have to loot. So that may actually be a quicker way to get a loadout when you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is making a lot more sense now. Yeah.
This I would believe a lot more. Because if it's like an extra way to get a loadout in addition to buying, I could see that. If this is the only way, I could not see that. So yeah, this makes perfect sense.
And then there could be, so the contracts could essentially be go to this stronghold, kill the AI, defuse this bomb within this amount of time, and you get money and something else. So that could be their new take on contracts as well. So this is making a ton more sense after reading this. So forget everything we said about that dog shit Charlie Intel article. This is making a lot of sense. So presumably the harder the stronghold, the bigger the reward. Blah blah. Although Warzone 2 is still in development, strongholds were described to me as being a new dynamic element to make players think carefully about their decision, because once a stronghold has been taken, no other players can access it.
Oh,
that's odd. If there are no strongholds available in your area, then you'll either have to move to the next available location or wait for the train to turn up that spans the entire map. Warzone is no stranger to AI either. True, with AI being incorporated into Caldera several months ago, which was likely to gauge how the community was response to that feature, which we had kind of said too. Yeah. So strongholds. What did he say? No other players can access it. Do you think that just means they couldn't obtain a reward there, or does it literally like lock that part of the map?
Yeah, I hope it's the former, where
that would make a lot more sense.
Because imagine I take a stronghold, and then that's the only building left in like the 6th circle, and you like are locked out, and you just die to gas. And like I just win automatically. Like that would be incredibly dumb. I hope what that means is, be more clear, Tom. I hope what that means is you just can't get the rewards from it, but you can still literally enter the stronghold. Yeah. Because it would be really, I could see a lot of shitty endings if you're locked out of every stronghold and like, you know.
Yeah, and it's like how would they lock it out? Would it have automatic doors and windows, bars go across them, or would it be like in the gas essentially? So I think what that means is you can't get like a reward, which makes complete sense. Fine. It's like if someone grabs a contract, you can't grab that same contract because someone else grabbed it. So
exactly.
This kind of sounds like that.
And a train coming back, by the way, not at all surprising. I totally believe that. They had one in the later days of Verdansk. It was cool. You would even use it sometimes. It was cool. It was unlike the trolley problem on Caldera. The train in Verdansk was like useful. It had a lot of good loot. You could refill ammo there, and it could help you rotate occasionally.
Yeah, that little trolley's cute, but it serves zero purpose. Yeah, it's just a cute little item roaming around.
Yeah, it's scenery for sure.
It never plays into anything. So last section here, Warzone 2 and the DMZ. Ever since my first report, I reported that Warzone 2 and the DMZ will have the same map, which I still believe is true. Huh. Back in December 21, a source sent me the first ever footage and images of the new DMZ map, which contains little icons for objectives, which it shouldn't. Should be a more difficult game mode. I was able to verify the video and images with other sources who had said the footage was a part of DMZ. Now, nearly 6 months on, a newly acquired source has sent me the Warzone 2 map, which is identical to the DMZ map. For me, at least, this confirms the Warzone 2 and the DMZ will be sharing the same map, with which each mode having a different gameplay loop. DMZ has been in development for several years, and the map itself was designed with both DMZ and Warzone in mind. And players will fight against other players and AIs to complete objectives, loot up, and extract. To me, it would probably be split up into areas, like Tarkov, maybe. Because that would be a massive... well, I guess the movement in Call of Duty is so fast. I guess you could do a map like that if it's quicker paced. Because I feel like it would be split up. Like, sure, it may share the same map, but maybe you can queue for, like, I want to go into this part of the DMZ. I want to queue for this region. Yeah. But also, you know... Yeah. If kids are fucking slide canceling around the map, then you can have the entire Warzone map, and that be fine for a DMZ mode, probably.
Yeah, it's just so hard to predict the TMZ like map, for example, when we don't know anything really about it. It's like would it be on the whole map or just parts of it? Like I have no idea because I don't know what the fuck the DMZ mode entails.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I've said this. I'm more excited to hear about this DMZ mode than I am Modern Warfare multiplayer, because Modern Warfare multiplayer will be nothing. Sure. Nothing will be that crazy and surprising that we get from that. It'll be COD multiplayer. This could be potentially game changing for the Call of Duty franchise going forward. We may get surprised. This may be a fantastic game mode. This could take over Warzone. Who knows? Probably not. But it could be really cool, and I'm most excited to hear about this. And then he also, at the end of this, again, trailer reveal date of June 8th, supposedly, for Modern Warfare 2. And I would imagine it's going to be a trailer for multiplayer, and probably the last 5 to 10 seconds, maybe some snippet from DMZ mode or some little hint at Warzone 2.
The 8th is a Wednesday, which would be weird. But maybe.
Why would that be weird?
I don't know. I feel like they do those on like...
It's a trailer. They just like post it, so it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess.
I think there's some video game event going on like that week.
Oh, okay.
That's like on TV or some shit. I don't know. On the television. On the telly.
On the tele.
The telly. But anyways.
Tom would say.
Yeah, so that cleared a lot of it up with the strongholds. That makes complete sense now that you can buy a loadout and do that. Yes, I can definitely see that. In the Charlie Intel article, he made it sound like you had to do that to get a loadout, which, yeah, nah.
And here's another thing you guys should keep in mind when we talk about leaks and stuff. A lot of things on paper sound way more exotic and new and different than they actually will be. So, for example, what is a good example? I just had one. I don't know. But, like, you can imagine you hear, oh, there's going to be strongholds with AI guarding them. And that sounds like, whoa, that's crazy. That's so different than Warzone. And then when you get in the game, it's basically like you're going to Factory, where those AI used to spawn on Caldera. Kill a couple of them, they're shit. And then all the stronghold thing for the loadout is like a glorified recon contract where you have to kill the AI, you go into the building, you stand in the area, maybe you hold a button like you're opening a crate, and then you've completed the stronghold infiltration, and then you get a loadout drop marker or something. And really all that is a different new contract, and there's some AI there. Like, it's not going to feel as different as it sounds if this is true, is what I'm trying to say. It's not that crazy and transformative, honestly, if you really think about it.
It could be something like you kill 4 AI, which if they're like the Caldera AI, they don't damage. They have damage clamp essentially. Maybe it could be like you kill them, one of them drops a key or a key card that's inside the stronghold somewhere, and you open that up, and that's where you like grab the loadout, and then you go out and throw it on the wherever you want or something like that. Yeah, I'm sure it would be. You got to think at the end of the day, this is a Call of Duty game designed by Activision. They know there's a lot of trash people that play this game. They need to make it as easy as possible. So these won't be some difficult. You're not going to get squad wiped to the AI ever.
Correct.
It's going to be something very easy to do.
Yeah, it's just not going to be as crazy as it maybe sounds. I guess Factory was the example because we knew that there was going to be AI on Factory, and Tanner and I made a big deal about it, and then we dropped there once, and I was like, oh, okay, never mind. This doesn't matter. They're random AI that are always marked on the map that barely do damage to you. They're easy to kill and they drop almost nothing. And then it was just literally like it felt like any other POI instantly. Even though it sounded crazy, like, oh, AI in Warzone, holy shit. It's not. And I think this is going to be one of those things if it gets added to the game at all. But yeah, this DMZ mode, whatever it is, will share a map with Warzone, by the way. Whether it's the whole Warzone map or it's only sections of it, they will be mutual in that regard. There's no way the DMZ map is like a brand new map. So that's another thing that's like obviously going to be true.
Yeah.
Sure. So yeah, there you go. So next here, there was a video by Exclusive Ace, and he was talking about the DMZ mode as well. And he started the video by like kind of explaining basically what DMZ is according to the leaks he's heard. And he was sourcing the Ghost of Hope on Twitter. And he said, oh, I believe these leaks because it comes from like a reliable leaker who's gotten a lot of things right. Which I find interesting. So he said a lot of things in this video. And apparently all this comes from the Ghost of Hope. One of them was that it was going to be very Tarkov-like. And the way he was describing it in the video, which I'll link in the show notes, and I think I'll link all the articles as well. So if you want to take a look at any source material, you can do that in the show notes or video description. He was saying you go in to an area, you can kill other teams, everything you bring into the area, if you die with, can be taken from you. But then everything you loot, if you do extract, you will keep with you. This is all exactly like Tarkov. This, I just don't believe is going to be the case.
For DMZ?
For DMZ. I think that would be too hardcore. And if it is somehow true, it's going to be a lot of caveats in there or something. But I don't think this DMZ mode is going to be full loot like Tarkov is, where you take in your good loadout gun, you die, and it's gone. I don't believe Call of Duty is going to do that. I think that would be way too hardcore. One person, I think Jake was telling me in Discord, that maybe it would be like, you go in, everything you loot in that match, if you extract successfully without dying, you keep it. But you never lose items you brought in to the match. You only lose items if they were also looted during that match.
Yeah.
That sounds a lot more likely to me because COD is about that level of casualness. I don't see them adding... I would love a full loot mode like Ace was explaining. I just find that very hard to believe that Call of Duty will do. Maybe they will. I would be surprised. Another thing that was said is that it won't be free to play, but if you buy Modern Warfare 2, that's where the DMZ mode will be found, which I totally believe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then another thing that goes
I don't want it to be free.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely not. MW2's third mode DMZ will launch in beta. Quote, something like the DMZ doesn't become final until the general public has gotten hands on it. It's a large mode that needs maintenance. What are your thoughts on all this, Tanner?
I don't know. We've pretty much heard it all before. I also can't see you full on losing everything. You're not going to have like a stash like Tarkov, and if you don't insure the gun or it gets stolen, you never see that again. I'm with you. I refuse to believe that's true. It will be some way where like maybe you have like a certain amount of like tokens, and it's like the guns are free, and then you can spend some sort of tokens or currency on like attachments on those guns. So like basically every single game you have enough tokens probably almost always to have like a gun with attachments on it. But if not, then it's like maybe you go in with like an M4 with a iron sight and like no attachments on it or something.
Yeah.
You know, they can't make it that hardcore because it's obvious that's what they're going for. You see on all of these like TikToks and Twitter posts that kids are like, I like the idea of this mode because like Tarkov is just like way too hardcore for me and I can't get into it, and so they're gonna try to bridge that gap,
simplify
and make it easier. So that would make a lot more sense to me. Yeah, it will not be something super difficult and crazy.
You won't get punished super hard for dying.
You won't get punished. Yeah,
that's the biggest thing. I just don't see them punishing you by having you drop all your gear when you die. COD's too casual. It wouldn't be successful if they did that, I don't think.
I agree.
So, like, even when you look at Tarkov, it's like that game is popular, kind of, but a lot of people will watch Tarkov and don't play it. I think more than a lot of other games that game is true for. And it's very hard to get into Tarkov, and it's very hard to monetize a game that is that hardcore. How does Tarkov make money? They sell the game. That's it. They don't sell bundles. It's too hardcore, and it's really hard to get into. And if a game mode is hard to get into, you're not going to make a lot of money selling microtransactions for it. That's why Call of Duty is not going to do it.
Yep.
Because you can't sell microtransactions if the learning curve is as steep as fucking Tarkov is. You're not going to make money if you do. It takes you 3 months to like extract once in Tarkov solo.
There's also been rumors that like with DMZ, it'll have its own set of like weapon camos and stuff that you can grind for.
That would be cool.
Similar to like zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
And it'll of course be absolutely filled with microtransactions. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, probably more microtransactions than we've seen since Black Ops 4, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What do we got next, bud?
Next up here is a tweet from Tom Henderson. I'll explain it after. So just a general reminder, posting 240p videos for clout of Warzone 2 will get you DMCA'd by Activision. For additional context, the images videos going around are from November, December of last year, not recently. So looking on the brighter side, it looks pretty good for a game that still has a year of development. So there was a video that went around on Twitter, was super short. Dog shit quality, of course, as normal, and it was supposedly Warzone 2, and it was a video that was about 12 seconds long of a guy moving his character straight and weapon inspecting 2 guns, and that was it.
Yeah.
And it was
going
bonkers
display?
on the TL.
I didn't get a chance to see it.
It was like obviously like pre-alpha, alpha, like it had a bunch of words on the screen that was like said something to do like TAC map enabled, something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
See. Okay. Yeah.
But it looked more like Battlefield 2042, kind of.
Interesting.
One thing that pissed me off is like the guy was holding it with his thumb like over the top. Which people do in real life now, but it looks really bad in a video game, and I hate how they make it look, and that immediately pissed me off.
Yeah,
because it just looks so dumb. It really makes me mad because it ruins optics for me. It makes them look stupid, and it really, really bugs me. That's like the only thing that I got. And then there's weapon inspections, and let me just say, the leakers have said this every year for the last 3 years. Oh, the game looks like it's in a really good state. Well, of course it does. That's like bare minimum. That's your character moving. They're like, oh, it looks. All of them were saying this, like, oh, this looks really good for it being 6 months old. Of course, MWII 2019 looked really, really good in all aspects. What ruined it? Last minute horrible decisions by the dev team.
Exactly.
Things like a UAV, a shit slow time to kill.
Gunfire not showing you up on minimap.
It was those things that ruined the game. Yeah. Modern Warfare 2019 was perfect in the sense of mechanics, movement, gunplay, the gunsmith, but it's the last minute design things that ruin the game. So I don't care how good something looks. That's a year old. It just simply doesn't matter. Of course it should look that way. I mean, what do you expect them to be still having fucking no map even and just be have stick figure characters? Like, of course it's going to be that far into development. That's day one shit that they do.
Yeah.
That's the first thing they do is design a map and the characters, right?
Right. Exactly.
But anyways,
I'm totally with you. Yeah.
And it was all I saw from the map was there was a hill in front of him. There was like a giant tree that made that area extremely shaded and dark, which I immediately noticed because I hate really dark, shadowy areas. It doesn't play well. I don't care how realistic it is. It ruins multiplayer games. Like on Caldera, you have these really dark, cloudy areas. That's the other thing I noticed. But it was a dog shit little clip and it's gone. You can find it somewhere, I'm sure. But
yeah.
And then he also said, to be honest, the new Warzone 2 maps looks more like Blackout than it does Warzone in its terms of layout. I don't know what that really means. Again, we couldn't play Blackout. It was dead on PC. I know people claim they like the map, and now everyone's on that. Blackout was better than Warzone. Okay. It probably wasn't. If you had them both now, I guarantee you would choose Warzone, but sure, bud. It's just at that stage.
Yeah, that could be true. And I haven't played Blackout either, so I don't know the map at all. But I remember even before Cold War came out, people would occasionally say the Blackout map was better than Verdansk. And if that's true, which is a subjective assessment, obviously, but like if the Blackout map is good and this new map is more like Blackout than anything, then that's probably fine. I don't know what that means. For those of you who have played Blackout, take that how you will. And this is Tom Henderson saying that the Warzone 2 map looks like Blackout. So this is like so far removed from any kind of concrete, like, evidence of the new map. It's like some guy thinks it feels like Blackout, like the map. Okay. Maybe that tells you something, but don't put too much stock in that. Who knows?
Yeah, I kind of feel like maybe he's saying that because supposedly all these other older, like remastered maps will be part of it, and I think that's how Blackout was. Like it had firing range, it had Nuketown there, and I think a lot of other maps mixed in. So maybe that's kind of the vibe he's getting, but it's hard to look at a mini map and gauge like what he means by that statement since we really never had the opportunity to play Blackout.
I agree. So yeah. Next here, I was going to include this tweet from Charles Intel. For the first time in years, a COD title is not the best-selling game of a 12-month period in the United States. Surpassed by Elden fucking Ring, dude. Chat, Giga Chad, fantastic, maybe the best RPG I've ever played, has surpassed Vanguard sales in the United States. And supposedly the last time this happened was when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, which was 12 fucking years ago? Been a long time. So Vanguard is down catastrophic. And to be fair, Elden Ring sold a fuck ton. And it's a very good game. Extremely good game. And it eked out more sales.
Yeah, 9 years ago. Wow.
In the last 12 months. So not for a calendar year, but in the last 12 months, Elden Ring, I guess, has sold more than Vanguard. Not surprising, but this does speak to, somewhat surprising, and it does speak to how much of a flop Vanguard was. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's funny seeing Battlefield 2042 at number 5. A lot of people bought it and got screwed. It, of course, isn't taking into account all of the refunds, which you and I both got on that game.
Correct. I got a refund on it. Yeah.
I mean, Battlefield 2042 is for sure the most refunded game of probably all time.
Hopefully.
Probably since Cyberpunk, actually. That and Cyberpunk probably fighting for the number 1 spot.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's cool. Last thing here. It's kind of interesting. 100 Thieves Nadeshot is making a video game.
Wow.
It's kind of cool to see. So Dr. Disrespect started a studio. earlier this year, late last year, and is supposedly designing a video game. Now Nadeshot is. So more studios getting into, or more organizations getting into game development. I can see like FaZe doing some shit, maybe like a how to become a drug addict, how to get your whole body tattooed at 17 years old and be addicted to drug and crypto. Some sort of video game along those lines would probably make a lot of sense for them. Fuck FaZe. But yeah, so this is cool. I mean, more video game studios is going to be more pressure on Activision to design a good and fun video game, maybe. But that's dope, because Nadeshot also was a competitive Call of Duty player for a long time. He's kind of into all genres. Now he's big into Valorant. He was big into Halo, so he kind of likes all those first-person shooter type games. So that could be interesting to see what they come up with there. It's called 100 Thieves Project X is the current name of it.
Yeah, hot take. Whatever game they make's probably not going to be that good. Probably going to suck balls. Just like Dr. Disrespect's game, probably going to be fucking awful.
Will be terrible. Yeah, absolutely agreed.
And the reason for that is, I'm not even talking shit about Dr. Disrespect or Nadeshot. It's just hard to make a good video game. So they might make a fine video game, but how many fine video games get released every single day that no one gives a fuck about? Hundreds, probably.
Yeah.
And this will be that. The odds are so against you making a really good game that like actually gets people hyped that it just won't happen. Not from some guy who, and like whatever, Nadeshot's accomplished a lot. He was a competitive player. That's all well and dandy. But does that mean you're going to be a good game development studio head? No. Those are way different skill sets. Now, maybe he also possesses a studio head skill set. Maybe Dr. Disrespect does too. But I find it unlikely that if they do, their game is going to be good. It'll be fine, maybe. But no one's going to play this game for longer than a month. No one will play Dr. Disrespect's game longer than a month. And it's that simple. Because it's hard to make really compelling video games in 2022.
Yeah. I mean, there hasn't been a good video game since The Sims 4 came out, so it is rough, man. It's rough out there.
Don't say that. But
so when was 2014 was the last time we had a good video game?
All of these giant publishing companies, video game companies that have billions of dollars behind them make shit games. What do you think Dr. Disrespect is going to do? Huh? Come on, man. Come on. I mean, if Electronic Arts, worth billions of dollars, can release Battlefield 2042 with infinite resources, I mean, you think it's easy to make a good video game? No, it's not.
Battlefield 2042, they don't even have their first content season. They're still not even on season 1, and the game came out before
It's just
Vanguard.
Insane. Yeah, it's just insane. So
early
a lot
October?
of that is obviously, probably all of it is bad decision making, not necessarily like bad development, like, I don't know, like mechanics or whatever, although that's a lot of it for Battlefield 2042. And I'm rooting for Nadeshot and I'm rooting for Dr. Disrespect because I play video games and it'd be great if a good one came out. I just find it unlikely. That's all. Don't get your hopes up. Don't think that because you're a part of the fucking Champions Club that Dr. Disrespect's game de facto is going to be the best game ever released. Well, probably won't be. Probably won't be. So just keep that in mind. And thanks.
Yeah, it's like Dr. Disrespect also talks about like wanting to design a game where there's like it's not cross input or something and there's like no controller. It's like, shut the fuck up. Once you start designing the game and realize how many more people you'll cater to, which means millions of more United States dollars for you, shut the fuck up. Exactly. You're not making a K-BAM only game because you don't like aim assist in Warzone. You're full of shit.
Yeah.
You're going to do whatever brings you the most money, like Activision does.
Yeah, of course they will. That's another thing too.
Cocksuckers.
That's another thing too. They're gonna get their bag, as they say. So, but yeah, I'm rooting for them. I guess we'll see. So, anything else, Tanner? Any other spicy info on the TL?
No, I don't think so.
All right,
Spicers.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Reminder: give me city and state recommendations for a family to move to where I won't want to shoot myself and where the cost of living is not as high as California. That shouldn't be hard. And where it's not freezing cold. And where there's good internet. All of those things. And
where there's DoorDash.
And where there's DoorDash. Yes, I could use recommendations of that type. And thanks. Also, again, our latest Patreon episode is out. Check that out. It was a Warzone brainstorm. It was a particularly long and good one, I would say. Kind of like my cock. And Damascus Hangout is on a date at a time. We are doing Texas Hold'em Poker Night. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Join the Discord. It's in the events page. You can see it. The date and the time there. And if you wanted to get in on some Texas Hold'em, we're not playing for real money. We're playing for fake money. Relax. You guys can make side bets, though. But if you want to get in on that, play some Texas Hold'em with us. Patreon.com/thedropshot. We do Damascus Hangouts every month. And we do 7 bonus episodes per month as well. If you enjoy the program, if you want more of it, Patreon is the best way to support the show. And it's the best way to get yourself some bonus content. So check us out. Patreon.com/thedropshot. You can go to thedropshot.com for a link to that and everything else, including our merch store, where everything is on a blowout sale for the month of May. And it won't be on sale after that. So get your items while they last. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Have an excellent evening, of course. And as always, remember, stay humble. You're muted.
Stay humble.
Cool. You stupid son of a bitch.